That's, it's sort of the gender ideology is it's an anxiety machine. It creates anxiety because if I were to do my own psychological analysis, I would say that, anxiety is the awareness or the fear of the unknown. And with gender ideology and all the stuff we see on the LGBT left, people are making themselves unknown to themselves. They don't even know who they are. They don't know anything. And so they're just, their whole world is clouded in this suffocating anxiety. But they can't see clearly enough to realize that it's this worldview that's creating all this anxiety.
Yeah, well, technically, and this is true at the deepest level of analysis, anxiety is a marker for emergent entropy or disorder. So if you replace a unity of identity and purpose with a plethora of identities and purposes, especially an unlimited plethora, you replace a map with a destination and a pathway with a map that leads to absolutely every place that can be imagined all at once. And that's no map at all. There's actually a literature on consumer choice that shows this quite clearly. So you might say, well, you want to go buy a shampoo. You might think, well, how many shampoos do you want to choose from? And you think, well, so for sure you picked the suboptimal choice. Now, if there was only one shampoo, well, that might annoy you too. What you probably want is like 3. And you see that with kids too. If you open up a closet door and the kid's got 100 pieces of clothes to wear and you say, pick whatever you want, well, that'll just generally make them upset. And if you say, look, kid, you have to wear this, that doesn't make them very happy either. But if you lay like 3 pieces of clothes on the bed and you say, well, why don't you pick from here? Then they're happy. There is this notion on the radical activist side, it's kind of an anarchic notion, right? That any limitation on choice is a transgression against creative freedom. But that's not bounded by the realization that infinite choice is equivalent to endless anxiety and the abyss. And this catastrophic increase in anxiety that we see, this decrease in mental health, is in large part a consequence of, it's not freedom, it's chaos. It's anarchic chaos. That's not freedom. That's anarchic chaos. And all it does is produce misery.
Yeah, I think it was Dostoevsky, brothers Karamazov, the modern man interprets freedom as the rapid multiplication and satisfaction of desire. And that's exactly what I think we're talking about here. I also, not to get us sidetracked, but this is a point that you just said about consumer choice. I was recently trying to convey this about the dating world. I actually think, because I hear from young people all the time, men and women, who are just like hopeless in the dating world, and they're almost in despair over ever finding someone, finding a quality match. And I think that there's a little bit of this of the 1,000 shampoo symptom here, where there's a million different dating apps, and you can just cycle through people, swipe through. You don't have to limit yourself to whoever's in your community or at work or somebody you meet at the grocery store. And it's actually so many. So the people in the dating world, they feel like there's not enough options. It's actually, there's so many that they don't know, they can't narrow it down. And whoever they settle on, they're always going to be thinking about, well, it could have been that other guy instead.